Running Black is young. Isn't he like 23? Probably. Something like that. I don't know. He's been around for a while, though. He's been playing since, at least in tournaments, I think, since Tekken 6. I might be wrong. But, yeah, he's relatively young. Damn, I thought I was gonna whip. I was just outside of range. You might be the youngest player in OKC that plays in the scene? Probably. I'd believe it. I don't... Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't believe there's, I don't think there's anybody else. Most everybody in high 20s, 30s? Yeah. All the young kids went to Smash. Well, I guess they didn't go to Smash, they've just been in Smash. Smash are like anime players. Anime players are going pretty young. Yeah, Tekken players are like boomers. That's cool though, because I like Tekken. And it's cool because most time Tekken players, I don't know. I'd say for the most part, these older players are good for like adapting as a player, because they don't agree with you. If you're like, man, this character should be nerfed, they'll go, hey, shut up, bitch, learn the matchup. And then you go, well, damn, you might be right. And then you learn the matchup instead of whining like a bitch all the time. You know? And sometimes stuff does need to be nerfed, and they'll agree on that most of the time. But most of the time, whenever people say that, it doesn't really need to be like nerfed or patched, or sometimes people say taken out of the game. Most of the time that stuff isn't as necessary. Most of the time it's just like very slight balance, or you just don't know what to do against it, which is understandable. But some people are really quick to say that stuff needs to be patched out, and I think being around a bunch of old school like arcade players where stuff just couldn't be patched, right? Or it would be. It's a little bit better for the mentality, I guess, as far as adaptation goes. I don't feel like I've ever heard anybody bring that up. That, like, being around all these old school players is kind of good for it. Like, the adaptation. Because you're around a lot of people that aren't just gonna, like, agree with whatever bullshit you say that doesn't make any sense. They're gonna go, oh, well, maybe you should get better. Which sounds like it would be common, right? It sounds like people would be like, oh yeah, you know, it makes sense. Just try to get better, try to learn it. But it's really easy to start saying stuff's broken whenever it's just not. Or it's not as broken as people think it is. I think it makes a lot of younger players stronger at adapting to things. Damn. Alright. Nice. Yeah. There's still people in the Tekken community that will like complain about shit and it doesn't make any sense. But there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be like, hey, shut up, stop being a little bitch. Learn the matchup or something, right? Plus, and they've been around for a long time. If you're having trouble with the game, most of the time they have a method to like help you with something out, right? They're pretty eager to like, they want you to learn. That's the cool thing about the FGC overall, is they want you to get better. And everybody wants to get better together. So everybody's willing to help each other out, learning stuff most of the time. And the older players are cool for that because they are, what do you call, like, they've been around for a long time. They know, they've been through the, you know, the ruts that a younger player might have gone through, or is likely to go through. So they kind of know how to get out of it if it's just like maybe you need to take a break, or whatever. Or, oh, this is what you're having trouble with. This happened to me, however long ago. This is how I dealt with it. Here's the strat. So, that's one of the cool things about being around a lot of old school players. Yeah, I think it's best that you have the attitude to get in the lab. Because even if it's broke, that's the way to figure it out. Yeah. I try to take ownership of every loss. Unless it's against you. I wouldn't take ownership of losses against me either. I'm an asshole. I play so stupid. And it works sometimes, which is just crazy to me. Yeah, but the get in the lab attitude is a healthy attitude to have in fighting games. And sometimes that can breed some creativity in you. So you come up with some new tech, and then hey, now we got a new strat. And not only do you have a new strat, but the kind of way I look at it is like whenever you make up a new strategy, not only do you have that strat, but everybody else has that strat too, because you don't own your strats. You just make it. Oh fuck! I didn't do it. I was gonna do some stupid ass Tekken 4 shit. But yeah, getting in the lab is always a good mentality to have with certain things. But it is one that you have to kind of grow into for sure. I'm still kind of getting into it. Like I'm not a lab beast. Some people are lab beasts, and they will come up with all this crazy shit and find out every option for every thing, and that doesn't really work for me very well. Like some tech will. Like I'll learn. Like I like learning tech, but I feel like I have to learn usable, basic stuff first, right? Gotta learn the usable, the normal, easy stuff first. Because for every time I learn something, any kind of skill, I try to learn the base level first, and then I add on complexity. And if you look at me playing, I play a really simple game plan. It's not that best because I still don't have my fundamentals where I want them. But there are players with such good fundamentals that they don't really need all that crazy tech because they play the fundamentals so well. They don't really give anybody a chance to get in these really odd, specific situations because they kind of understand what is going on. I think a lot of that is knowing your options. Knowing your options is cool before learning the counterplay, right? Necessarily, I guess it's a counterplay of sorts, but learning all your options for one thing that you have a lot of trouble with is the first thing you want to do. And the way I look at it is I try to find one option that is going to cover a majority of the thing I'm having, a majority or all of what I'm having trouble with, right? Because I don't want to deal with it. I want to get rid of the fucking guesswork. That's the whole point of me getting in the lab. And I feel like some people forget that, I feel like. They're like, but I can do this really cool back turn thingamajiggy. I'm gonna, I'm plus 13.7 frames here, and I'm gonna, whatever. And then they don't do it because it's so complicated and they have so many moving parts to it. When really, all you could go for the simple block punish, or whatever, and then try to take back your turn. That would be my first priority. I want to take back my turn with that. And then, later on, once I get good with that, right? Once I'm consistent enough with that to where it's not really a problem anymore, then I can start adding on stuff to maximize the profitability, I guess, of that situation. Like if there's some weird Zafina trap that's like, oh, I can block it with this, or I can do all this complicated shit first. I'm going to block it first, and then I'm going to block punish. And then later on, I'm going to figure out the game plan, right, to maximize that situation in my favor. But some people, I don't know, they go for all this complicated shit first, and then it never works out for them, and then they're like, man, this is still a problem for me, that's why it's broken. And really, it's just, you can take steps to avoid that situation again, right? And you can also just do the simple punish first, and then do the weird shit after you kind of understand how to get out of that. But you've already started with, you know, a million moving parts to this. When one of them goes wrong, it's all gonna fall apart. But if I sit here with my little, you know, my little three-part strategy, you know, duck, block, and then, you know, punish, and then try to get my turn back. So I guess 4, if you count, you know, going back into the neutral. You know, it's going to be a lot easier and a lot more consistent for me. So, I don't know. That's something I think about a lot. Just how keeping something simple and adding on to that is so much more beneficial than trying the hardest thing first, right? Like it's just like whenever you see guitarists learning how to sweep for the first time. They're like, okay, I'm gonna take the hardest, stupidest fucking arpeggio ever first, and I'm gonna learn that. So that way, all the other ones become easier. Yeah, okay, that might work, but it's super, super inefficient. And you're gonna struggle a lot harder in the beginning, and you're gonna want to give up a lot quicker. But if you do like what I did, and just take like I took like an E minor 7 arpeggio to just learn how to sweep. Okay, now learning the other ones is a lot more structured. It's a lot less of me trying to come up with a new technique to make it easier, and it's a lot more of me getting a hold of the fundamentals of sweeping, which is, you know, muting. It's a combination of muting, fretting, like solid fretting, and string sweeping without making a lot of extra noise. And that's what the muting covers up mostly, but there's a little bit more technique in there still, because muting isn't perfect, and your hand isn't perfect. It's not the perfect shape to be muting shit all the time. So you gotta come up with, you know, other ways to cover yourself. I'm better than Steve Vai? Damn, Steve Vai. I love Steve Vai. I saw him live. Oh, it was such a sick show. I saw him live.
나와 나만의 baby boo 사랑은 for life 너는 막을 수 없어 웃는